Welcome to another Slow Walker video production, an introduction to my recipe resizing by proportion tool. Often we come upon a recipe that is delicious and satisfying, but either produces too much or too little for our purposes, whatever they may be. Of course, the solution is to make larger or smaller portions, but sometimes figuring out how to change the measurements of the ingredients can be a challenge. So I developed a tool that would help me to do that easily. The first step is the easiest. Enter the name of the dish or recipe. In my search for low carbohydrate bread, I found several on YouTube. This is the latest. Step 2 is to enter the URLs or website address or addresses where the recipe and or the videos can be found. This way, if you forget something, you can always go back to the source. Or you can see how the author's methods may need to be modified to fit your conditions. Next, the ingredients are listed in the proper tables. For example, this recipe calls for 1 1/4 cups of almond flour. So almond flour is entered in the table where cups is the heading for the second column. The recipe also requires 5 tablespoons of psyllium husk. So psyllium husk is entered in the table with TBSP, the abbreviation for tablespoons, is in the header for the second column. Some ingredients don't come in volumetric measurements, such as an egg or egg whites. Another example would be a pinch of salt, or to your taste. So they're listed in the 4th table. Next, you enter the directions. If you're lucky, you might be able to copy and paste the instructions. This recipe makes 6 rolls or buns. I need to make these in my air fryer, which won't fit the amount of buns produced, or at least not at one time. Also, if I have 6 rolls, I might be severely tempted to eat more than I should at one time. But 2 rolls, or 1/3 the amount, fits my air fryer, and the amount that I should eat. That means I should make it just 1/3 of the amount. I choose to keep things simple, so I entered 0.3 in this cell. The tool then will update all the rows in all the tables and calculate measurement options for each ingredient listed. I then can better decide which measuring tool to use, such as a 1 tablespoon measuring spoon, to measure out 6 tablespoons versus trying to estimate 3/8 of a cup. What happens when you don't have exact measuring tools? For example, I don't have 1/3 of a teaspoon measuring spoon. So, guess to taste. Here's some examples. The adjusted measurement for salt is 1/3 tablespoon. I have a 1/4 tablespoon and a 1/2 tablespoon measuring spoons. 1/3 would be in between. I then use a heaping 1/4 tablespoon, or a little less than 1/2 teaspoon. Or, if I want the bread slightly less salty, I just use a 1/4 teaspoon. Or, if I want it a little saltier, then I use the 1/2 teaspoon. Oh, I deleted the extra rows, but you don't have to. I just like the look, and I can print this recipe with directions on just 1 page. Some recipes, even with the unneeded rows deleted, need 2 or more pages. Let's say you wanted to feed 6 people with 2 buns each. Change the portion size to 2, and that will give you new measurements to produce the amount you want. As you create using any recipe, you can make adjustments to suit your taste. Also, you may find out because your oven or conditions differ from those of the author, you may need to make adjustments. For example, my air fryer can cook some things or parts of things quicker than a conventional oven. I have recipes where instead of cooking at 375 degrees for 60 minutes, I cook them at 320 degrees or a tad less for 20 to 25 minutes. You can make these notes in the recipe if you choose. As you adventure through the culinary world, remember the advice of the slow walker. Eat wisely. Choose good, healthy, and wholesome ingredients. Eat portions that will sustain and satiate you without overindulging. And, very importantly, don't forget dessert. Aloha.